Right, this morning I thought I'd do something a little bit different, and I thought, let's just move you guys. So I'm going to be bringing in some paints. I'm going to use some Mod Podge just to stick stuff down. I've got stencils. I'm using Ciao for this, so we've got Ciao stencils, some rice paper scraps, and I'm using scrapbook papers because I thought it would be nice to do an art journal page but feature scrapbooking papers rather than just featuring our inks and everything like that. Right, so I'm using my my Diane Reevely large journal for this rather than my smaller one, because I just thought it'd be easier for everybody to be able to see. And I'm just going to lay down a few bits of colour, and like I said, I'm going to put down some acrylic paint to start with, and I just want to make a really quick background up. Right, so that is going to be my really quick background. So like I said, I've got some paper scraps and rice paper scraps that I want to actually use up to start building up the background. Now, the image here, I've already done two because I couldn't decide whether I wanted that one or I wanted a smaller version. So that actual image is from a rice paper. And what I've done is I've actually cut it out with a pair of scissors and stuck it to a piece of card. So then it becomes an embellishment. But there's also, you know, in the same kit, there is smaller images as well. So I'm going to do the composition, then decide which one of the two I want to go for. I'm just going to just tear out a few pieces. And when I make my background, in an art journal piece, especially using different pieces like this, I'm just thinking of what's going to go in the background, and we'll work with the images that I want to use from the papers and the designs. I'm not necessarily thinking about, you know, where I'm placing them. I know I'm using a ballet dancer, so I'm just going for images that I think will work with that. And I always do a dry run even before I put different things down, and I can add to it. Right, so I'm just going to build this up. So the difference, if I just grab a piece, because I've got the painted layers now underneath the rice paper, that's given that rice paper, instead of being So if I put it onto there, it's got a cream background. Now it's got a coloured background, so it looks completely different. And I think I love doing that. So suddenly now where I've got the green and the pink, the flowers, and I've got the green background there, the flowers look completely different again. So this rice paper here, it's the same rice paper, but having the pink behind there, and then you've got the cream, it looks, gives it different, gives you quick and easy shading and depth, if that makes sense. Now I'm overworking it in places because then that lifts some of the ink colour off the rice paper and it gives a real shabby, chic-y sort of look. So as I said, I cut her out, as you can see, from the rice paper, and I put her onto card, and actually the full image, or I've got a smaller image that I can use and back. I think I'm going to go with my first thought, which was the larger one. I just want to bring in some stenciling before I do that. I'm using the stencils from the same collection from the Black Swan. Please forgive me, I don't know their names. But I just want to tie in some of the detailing. I'm just looking at which bits I want to use. Okay, so we've got the background of the page. So what I want to do now is I just want to build it up, and I'm going to bring in some lighter and darker areas in a moment. And what I've also done is from the scrapbook pages, I've actually taken from the 12 by 12 pages, rather than, I know they do fussy cut pads and everything like that, but I thought it would be nice to actually cut up the different pages, and where I saw designs like this, pull them all out. I couldn't decide what to use, so I thought, right, let's just use a little bit of absolutely everything. So I'm using, just says if it can come out, a cream multi-surface one, but it's got a slight satin finish from Deco Art rather than a matte. And I just want to highlight some of the areas. I'm just going to wash them out as well. So even though I've got the torn edges, I can add a little bit of light. And just go around some of the bits that I've done already. And this just helps soften some of the harder lines I have of painting. So she's now going to be sitting, or whatever you call it, there. I quite fancy that. Oh, look at me, I just knocked everything. So I'm picking up all the little bits just in case I need to use them. I won't, but I, you know, don't want to lose them. So she's going to sit around about there. And I'm going to use her, I think. I definitely am over the other one. So because I've got card on this, I'm going to just put a little bit of Mod Podge on the back. Gel medium would work just as well. Go with the glue that works for you. Okay, now I've got this here. I'm just going to use up the acrylic again. So all I'm doing with the acrylic paint is I just want to create a slight... I've still got all the layers there, so I'm wetting my finger to take some of the paint and move it whilst it's still wet. I just want to create more of a highlight for her. So now I've got all my background pieces, but she also stands out. And I just find it easier to pull the paint out with a wet finger. It means I can rub it in places as well. Now this is, I've got the smallest one going, so I might have to do this. Let's do it myself. And this is like a bit of a fluorescent pink colour. I just want to use it to add highlights in different places rather than white. And I'm actually going to, for now, call that finished. So very quickly, using just some acrylic paints, offcuts of rice paper and elements that I've cut out from scrapbook pages. We've created a quick A4 art journal page. Now I have got some other little bits of, you know, the black that I could tie in, and you know, that there's floating, so I could have another piece going there so it goes to the edge, but I quite like that it's floating. I could add in, not necessarily sequins, but some flat sequins or gems or anything like that. I did have this piece here, which was I'm going to put on down here, but I think the eye is just a little too much for me. So I think the eye is just a little too much there. I think it takes away from her, so I'm not going to use her at the moment. So it was just to give everybody a quick idea, you know, to have a look if you've got any papers left over from projects, little scraps of rice paper, how you can use them if you want to try out doing an art journal page. Thanks ever so much. I will let it dry. I will trim it all down. I'm going to be honest, I probably will add some frou-frou to it somewhere. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all soon. Take care.